Fellow football lovers, welcome to Footy with Podcast, Episode 21. Football, we're here to discuss football. My name is Ahis Anthony, and I'm here with my co-host, fellow podcaster. We'll be starting the podcast, just myself and Tunde, and I'll allow Tunde to introduce himself before Mykah joins. And we'll just be the three on the podcast. So, Tunde, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, football lovers. Good to be here again today. Episode 21. Wow, we've come such a long way. This is so good. I'm glad the season is almost over, but the season will start right back up as soon as it's done. So, good to be here.
Yes, so did you just say the season is almost over? The season is over. Because we have a champion. We have a champion, rather.
Yeah. The reason I say it's almost over, for them, yeah, it's over, but we let's focus on the other people that are fighting for places. Their position was pretty much done and dusted a few weeks ago, just waiting for time to allow. But for others that have a position and spots to fight for those contesting for Champions League, for those trying to get to Europa spots, for those that are going to be relegated, for those that are going to be promoted to the Premier League.
Yep.
All of those ones. Yeah.
Yep. So we will be discussing on the podcast today, Liverpool being champions, 30 years of waiting. After 30 years of waiting, I just want to go in my own lyrics, in my own poetry here right now. So 30 years of waiting, the Hornets' sting was just a blip. And the drabby draw at the Merseyside was just part of it. But still didn't stop them from being champions. After 30 years of waiting, Liverpool are crowned champions of 2019-2020 season with 7 matches to go. That is a record. A record. I think the last time anybody said that record was 5 games, Chelsea, when Mourinho won the first or the second trophy for Chelsea, and they did it with 5 games to go. So we will just explore every possible option on this topic. Discuss, look at everything that needs to be discussed concerning Liverpool being crowned champions, doing it 31 matches, being crowned champion at 31 matches. And imagine, next game, Man City will have to do the guard of honor for Liverpool, because that's the next Premiership game. So let me just get your feel on that.
Well, so I went out yesterday to go play soccer with some guys, and one of them, Man City fan, said, well, it's better this way, instead of Liverpool winning, beating them, regardless of what happened. On that day, Liverpool will be crowned champions. So he said it was better this way, that they'll just give them the guard of honor no more than for them to beat them to win the league. So it's very interesting. It's very Liverpool won the league. Yay.
Yeah, because I know you're not happy as a Manchester United fan, but come on. we just have to drop our hearts of the team we support. Arsenal is not even anywhere close for the 3 points difference. They're massive as the way the table stands right now. But we just have to, bask in this euphoria of Liverpool being crowned champions, because we just have to talk about them. They're a good team. We saw them last season. They lost just 1 match, and they were adrift, or they were behind Manchester City, which were champions last year. Just a point difference. And this season started, I think they just took it a step further from where they stopped last season, and they went on and on and on and on, winning games. I think the only place where they dropped points was at Old Trafford, where they drew 2-2 or 1-1. Where they dropped 2 points, it was 1-1, and they kept at it, kept going, until what happened? The unbeaten run, 44 games, and they got beat by Watford at the Hornets. And the pandemic came, so football was held back. But in all those games, starting from game 1, where they blew out Norwich City, Arsenal came, they blew out Arsenal. Man City came, they blew out Man City, blew out Chelsea, blew out all the top 6 teams. Leicester City, Tottenham, they just kept going. At that point, did you see Liverpool going all the way, or was this feeling like it's gonna happen one day? They were gonna lose. Did you see that happening, going all the way?
I didn't see them getting to this point because one of the things that I was looking or was thinking was going to happen is some players would get injured, some would lose the initial drive, and others would just continue the tradition of things where once a few players are out and you know that you're not the starter, you only try so much. You only try as much to put in effort, but that did not put Liverpool off at all. So they kept going even when they had injuries. Yes, you see that they struggled, but they grinded out to get some of those results, and that's what you want from champions. That's what you see from every champion of the Premier League. Each year, there's just one team that just grinds out the results when they're playing poorly, and when they're good, when they're on form, they just rip people apart. And that's what Liverpool did this Premier League season, and it was beautiful to watch. I won't lie, it was exciting to see that they played as a unit. They played as one team that had one goal, and it was to do one better than they did last season. And of course, when you do that, you get the ultimate prize, which in this case was becoming champions for the first time in 30 years.
Wow, yeah, truly, they did. But looking at the team in total, during the season, I think the only injury scare they had was Mo Salah coming in and out. I think Jurgen Klopp had that team. He was lucky though, not having majority of his players out injured. I think the defender as well, Matip too, went injured for time being. Yeah. But though he had a deep squad to call from. We even had a time where Oxlade-Chamberlain had to come in for Henderson. There was a time Henderson too went injured and Wijnaldum. But the good thing for him was he had that depth. He had that deep squad. People he can call from the bench to come in and represent whoever is injured. He never had the injury scare that much. Most of his players didn't go out on a lengthy injury. They were always there compact. They were always taking each games the way it comes. But there was a time in March before the pandemic where their form dipped. It dipped, which led to them being disqualified from the Champions League because as of that period they lost. They lost again. They played that match, Premiership match against Norwich. Norwich almost took that game, but the late minute thing from Mane. I think it started with Aston Villa where Mane had to come in. There was a penalty that was not adjudged. That didn't look like a penalty. They won. It was a scrappy win. Norwich City, they went to Carrow Road. Norwich led most of the minutes of the game. They came back, they nicked one and they won. The next game was Atletico Madrid where they had to play Champions League first leg. They lost 1-0. And the second leg came. I think after that they lost against Watford, which ended their unbeaten run. And the following match was against Atletico Madrid. The second leg, which Atletico Madrid defeated them and they went out. They crashed out of the Champions League. So imagine if the pandemic had not come. Imagine if coronavirus didn't surface. Did you see Liverpool pulling through that period? Because as at that time, their form had plummeted. It has really gone down. We all saw it. It was glaring. They were struggling to win matches. Did you think if the pandemic didn't occur, did you think they would have been able to pull through or scale through that period?
Yes, I believe they would have, because the point gap between Liverpool and Man City was 20 points, and it was only a matter of time. Even if they had lost, let's even assume they lost 3 games in a row, they would still be ahead of Man City with at least 15 points. So they just needed to win 1 or 2 games, and they were champions. No, so yes, the worst that was going to happen was them getting crashed out of Champions League and FA Cup, which those two happened at about around the same time, where they had to make a choice on which players they were going to play for the cup, and they just fielded a young team. Or was that late last year?
Yeah.
Remember which one?
Where Jurgen Klopp, he didn't really prioritize that. It was the FA Cup where they lost the kids. He had to put. I think then they went for the World Cup club competition.
Oh yeah, okay. So that was last year.
Yeah.
But the worst that was going to happen in that period where they formed deep was them getting crashed out of Champions League, and they got the crash out of Champions League, and they refocused to they just needed to win a few games to be crowned champions of the Premier League. So they did that, and we're here today.
Yeah, so I just looking at the fixtures, what I was trying to explain, I think it was they won Norwich City 1-0. I think it was a late minute winner by Mane, I can remember. Then they lost to Atletico Madrid. Struggled to beat West Ham 3-2, yes. And lost to Watford. After then, that was what ended the unbeaten run. And defeated Chelsea defeated them in the FA Cup. Yes, it was Chelsea that defeated them in the FA Cup. They won Bournemouth 2-1. And they now lost. They crashed out of the Champions League. So as of that period, the form was deeping and form wasn't there. So, like I mentioned, if the pandemic didn't surface, the next match was the Merseyside derby, which was Everton-Liverpool. And Everton were in form at that period because of the manager bounce, Carlo Ancelotti. So possibly Everton might have nicked that at home, possibly. So the next match is Crystal Palace, and they meet Manchester City. Crystal Palace, they could just ride over Crystal Palace. Manchester City might not make it easy for them. Though Manchester City will have their own ways, but it's all good. No matter the computation and the permutation, they're crown champions, and like you mentioned, so even if they are dropped points along the way, they will still be champions, because the gap between Liverpool and Manchester City is gargantuan. Let me use that word. So it would have been so difficult for them to bottle it up like the way they used to bottle it up all before. So moving on straight to Jurgen Klopp. His management style paid off? Ever since he took over Liverpool, we knew the first year, the second year was not that smooth in terms of the result he wanted. He had to get rid of a lot of players. He had to let go, and they did really pay off. Were they patient with him? Because going 4 years, I think this is his fourth year as a manager in the Premiership. So imagine are you saying this is fifth? This is fifth year?
Is this fifth or sixth?
Oh, sorry, fifth year. This is fifth season. Yeah, it was at his fourth season he won the Champions League. But Liverpool so coveted that Premier League, they wanted it. So imagine if this season had gone without winning the Premier League. Will the owners still be patient with him, seeing where he has taken Liverpool from 5 years ago up to where they are today? Would they have been patient?
They may have been patient for another season, and the reason I think they would have given him another season is because last season they won the Champions League, right? So it looked like they were getting closer and closer to what they wanted. They won the Champions League. They were second in the Premier League. If they didn't end up winning the league this season, they would have been among the top three. So that
and they bottled last season, because I think the EPL was theirs, but they just bottled it to Manchester City.
Yeah, so he would probably have one or two things that he can say, or someone would, say, okay, just give him that one more chance, because at least the last 3 seasons, that's the last 2 seasons, which would have been this season and last season, there was significant progress in the team. So I believe he would have had another season to deliver something, and that something has to be the Premier League, because they invested a lot. They've invested a lot in the team, so I think he would have had that one more season.
Oh, so because Jurgen Klopp, we saw his stint at Dortmund. I think he struggled. The only trophy that eluded him was the Champions League. He was at the Champions League final when he lost to Bayern Munich, and even when he came to Liverpool, he took Liverpool to Europa Cup final where he lost to Dracula Style, Unai Emery.
Yeah,
Unai Emery was coach at Valencia then. Is it Valencia or Villa? Valencia, yeah. So where he lost.
Valencia.
Yeah. So he looked like he looked like everything was not happening for him while at Liverpool. But just for us to just look at this constructively, he came into Liverpool, he made some signings. Signed Mane, signed Salah, signed Lovren, signed Gomez, or was it the one that signed Gomez?
Yeah, I believe so.
But
Firmino.
Firmino, was he? I think he met Firmino. Oh, okay. He brought Firmino in, and I think Robertson came from the team, youth team, right? And
Robertson.
Alexander Arnold. Sorry, came from the youth team. Robertson came from Hull City. So he signed Van Dijk. So looking at all this business in terms of deals that was done, and if you know,
he signed Naby Keita, he signed
Fabinho and Wijnaldum as well. He did from Newcastle.
Wijnaldum.
So looking at these players that he has signed, because I saw something yesterday saying Liverpool bought the trophy, in the sense that they spent a whole lot of money. They spent a whole lot of money to acquire these players before they could have been crowned champions. Comparing, I think that was a bit silly and that was a bit lame, because looking at all these signings that Liverpool had done, we forgot Alisson as well. Alisson, I think the only big money signing is Alisson and Van Dijk, and those guys. Oh, you don't think so?
Naby Keita was big money. Naby Keita was big money.
Naby Keita was for, I can't remember the price tag, but the major big money is Van Dijk and Alisson. They were the major key signing in terms of the money being large, being big. So looking at it, I really love. I would like to get your thoughts on this as well. I really love Jurgen Klopp's model. He didn't go for the bigger names. As at when Mane was in Southampton, Mane was still that average player. Even if he was banging goals, but he was still on the average. He wasn't that superstar. He wasn't at that level of the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo or the likes of Aguero. Southampton, yes, he did his thing and we knew him. Salah came into Premiership. He didn't last a year. He went back to Roma. He brought him back. Wijnaldum, we saw what he was doing at Newcastle. Even while it was extraordinary in Newcastle, Newcastle was still that mid-table team. Newcastle didn't qualify for Europe, but he was doing his thing. See how he shopped all those players and he was able to bring them together. They were together for 2-3 years and see what they've achieved. What do you think of Jurgen Klopp's model? Is it what other teams need to copy or look at or deploy to their own style of signing players?
First off, Jurgen Klopp's model did not work the first 2 years. Jurgen Klopp had to adjust to what is in vogue. If you want to win the Premier League, you have to spend money. You cannot rely on from players from your youth team. You can't rely on players that you met on the team. You have to bring in players that will play according to the style that you envision and put them together with others that you currently have. to form a team that would win the Premier League. Yes, he spent money on all of those players, but hey, Liverpool has the money and you spend it. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of other teams spend money. There are some signings that didn't work out for him. I've been mentioning Naby Keita. Naby Keita really clearly didn't gel with the team, right? The other things the other factors you also have to consider in terms of the fitness level of these players. What he went for was he went to get the starting 11. Starting 11 clicked, worked for him for 31 games, as we've seen. And hey, I mean, his model may not have worked earlier, but what he did was he invested money just like every other manager have been doing, and it paid off. So anyone who says Liverpool bought the Premier League, they need to check themselves. What club do they support that doesn't spend any money? What club do you support that don't spend?
Because when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, come on, give this guys credit, give Jurgen Klopp credit, give Liverpool credit. They did what they had to do to become champions.
What they had to do.
I'm just looking at it now. Naby Keita was signed for £48 million.
Yeah.
£48 million. Sane was signed for £34 million from Southampton. So majorly, like you said, yes, he tried it. The first 3 years it didn't work. But I think the solution to that puzzle was just Alisson and Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, yeah.
That was just the solution that keyed in, and before you knew it, it went well for Liverpool. So, enough being said, but just looking at Liverpool again, do you see them being a dominant force for the next 5 years? Or winning the trophy back to back?
No, the Premier League is not that. If you want to win it back to back, don't go 31 games unbeaten. I mean, not 31 games unbeaten. I mean, you don't win 30. How many games did they win? 28 out of 31 or 20? How many?
Yeah, they drew Everton.
Yeah.
They drew Everton. So it's 28.
United.
28, yeah.
Yeah.
They lost to Watford, so it's 28 games.
You don't do that. It's the reason I'm saying this is that you gas out the following season. And even if you don't gas out, other teams tend to figure out something that they could have done, like they could have adjusted to make sure you don't get the same type of win that you got last season. Right? So it's going to be a lot difficult. Yes, they have the squad that can do it, but it's going to be a lot more difficult next season. And maybe the coming season, they might add a player here and there, add someone else this is new season, add someone in January that would bring back that drive, that desire, that will make it possible.
Yeah,
that's very possible. That's very doable. But I have the huge belief that next season is going to be a lot more difficult. Man City would step up because now they know what they have to do. They have to get, if nothing else, they have to get a central defender, and Guardiola will want to do something for his final season. I mean, at the moment, he hasn't signed a new deal, so he has just that one more season. I believe he'll want to do something. Sane is leaving, so he has to get a replacement for that. For Sane, Silva is retiring. He has to get a replacement for that also. So I feel like Man City have some work to do that they'll be, if they do what they need to do, they make a lot of business in the transfer window, they would be a force to be reckoned with. Chelsea would definitely be a force to be reckoned with next season. Manchester United will be a force to be reckoned with. So with this one, because the reason I mentioned these guys, because we have seen, we can pretty much outline what they need to do or what they have already done to be better next season, right? We may get into the summer and Arsenal will make some deals that would surprise everyone.
I was thinking you weren't going to bring Arsenal into the mix.
Oh, no, I will. Arsenal has a new coach, a new manager that his name is at stake at this point. Yes, he inherited the team, but he has to do some to stand out.
Yeah.
Arsenal is in a very bad position at this point. They need to stand out. They need to separate themselves from the mid-tablers. So I'm sure they will try to do something too. Leicester City is going to push. They're going to fight. They're going to try. What's their name? Wolves have been consistent this past 2 seasons, and I believe they would also try to push for something next season also. So it's going to be a lot more difficult next season. Oh yeah, Tottenham also. That we may not see much from them, but they're also not going to just roll over like this season has been. So it's going to be a lot more difficult for Liverpool next season.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, how did I forget my Leeds United? They're coming to the Premier League.
They're almost there.
Won.
Yeah.
They're topping the championship again, and they have new money. They have money to spend. I believe they will spend that money to bring whoever it is they need to bring in. It'll be a lot more competitive next season, and that's just the way the Premier League is. Every year, it gets more difficult. By January, who knows? Liverpool might be leading. By February, another team can be leading. Next season, I believe, is going to be a lot more competitive than this one was.
That's why we love the Premier League. You even left out Newcastle because, you know, if the takeover bid works, the guy with the money comes in, he's going to sign players. So they too, they will add to the competitiveness, add to the competition rather that we have already. You know, so, but for me, really, I see Liverpool going another year. I see them going another year because they seem not to have lost that focus. It's still there.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to add this. Wijnaldum. I don't think he's signing a new deal. So it's just that 1 year left also on his own contract. So if Wijnaldum leaves, or if he's thinking of leaving, if Liverpool decides to cash in on him before he gets in the final year of his contract, that they've lost a huge piece of their central midfield. We know that Milner is also old and cannot do what he has been doing. So they're kind of coming apart. But they need, if they get the right pieces put back together, they can compete
for another year. Yeah, Manchester City, the Champions League ban still hovering around Manchester City. We don't know what the decision will be. We don't know what's going to happen. And Guardiola having 1 year left, we know him. He always like to go on sabbatical. You might see, this is my last year. What should I do? Should I put in much effort? Or should I let it go? You know, we can't really say. We don't know. Tottenham as well. Mourinho is still in the mix. You know, he has his own baggages. He comes with his own drama. You know, he still has that attraction. He can sign players. He can attract players into the team. He can have a Mykah signing as well, and it changes their game. Manchester United, we see what they're doing. We see what we see what he's doing at the moment. If it works, there will be a force as well. And Leicester City, I might not see them because we know it was just a fluke. Because it's beginning to tell. See their performance. They lost today to Chelsea at home, the FA Cup quarterfinal. You know, it's beginning to come apart. We'll see the difference between who has a deeper squad. We'll see the difference between who has a deep squad when injury comes in and when all players are fit or when all players are not fit. But for me, I give it to Liverpool next year, because with all due respect to the other teams, I think their competitiveness this season was below par. Looking at the difference in terms of points difference, we know the Premiership, we know the points between the first and fourth position most times is majorly maybe 10 points or 12 points, max 15. Have we seen any in the last couple of years to be like 40-something points between the first position and the third position, 30-something points? So with all due respect to other teams, this season they were not being, just like that 2016 season where Leicester City had the opportunity to win the league because the other teams were just messing up, mumbling, losing points, dropping points. So I'm not discrediting what Liverpool had done. They were firm. Even if other teams have stepped up, maybe they were still going to win. But in terms of the point difference being that big, other teams didn't step up. So possibly when they step up next year, we'll see a more competitive Premier League like we always love to see, and we'll watch all the games. and we'll be here to talk about it on Football Podcast. So, where I want us to look at before we round up on this Liverpool champions gist. Because all my Liverpool friends don't let me hear a word anymore. It's all good. The champions, 30 years of waiting. So there are some stories that we heard that they would have to, pay a certain amount of money to Southampton, pay a certain amount of money to Arsenal, pay a certain amount of money to Hull City, and this other team, Charlton, where they signed Gomez from. Hull City, they signed Robertson. Arsenal, where they signed Chamberlain. Southampton, where they signed Mane, Lovren, Van Dijk, and Lallana. Is this good for Liverpool in terms of the deals that were etched out, the clauses that were signed while all those players were being signed? I was even doing a research. They paid 10 million, paid a certain amount of, is it 4 million or 10 million to Roma when they won Champions League last season? The deals for Salah and Alisson. But I just want us to discuss this. Is this good on Liverpool in terms of these deals, the way these deals are being etched out? Is this a good thing for Liverpool?
Well, they have to do something to get other clubs to sell to them. That includes adding sign-ons, adding clauses to make it appealing to these players and the club to want to let them go. I want to use this example. Manchester United signed Martial from Monaco.
Monaco, yes.
And there's a clause in his contract that Man U has said to pay a certain fee if Martial wins Ballon d'Or. It's a very laughable clause. So we know that like something drastic has to happen. And that was pretty much what happened with Liverpool winning the league. It is that every other team's form had to dip. Every other team had to not perform.
Yeah. For
Liverpool to win the league. Right. That is exactly what has to happen for Martial to win Ballon d'Or. Every other player just stops playing, and then suddenly Martial becomes the greatest. So I feel like that was the mindset of some of these clubs when they were selling to Liverpool. Maybe not considering that they were going to get the money back, or just including it as, or maybe even Liverpool included this clause as, if we do this, just give us a player. If this, then you get this. I don't think they'll be considering all of that financial implication right now because they're excited about the fact that they just won the league.
Yeah.
But it would tell on their bank statement when they want to sign another player. Because, hey, we just paid out this much for... Imagine if they have to pay out a total of about 80,000. No, that's too much money. Yeah, I mean, it could actually be up to 80 million.
No, it might not be up to 80 million. Yeah.
Let's say 15, let's say 20 million. They have to pay out up to 20 million to all these clubs just for this game. 20 million is I don't think
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, they bought Minamino for how much? About 16 or 18 million?
Yeah.
That's one player's money right there. So it might not, the board may not be willing to do like a real big business over the course of the summer or for next season because, hey, we have to pay all of this out. We have a pretty much new squad that you can still try someone with next season. So, I just know that I think that with all of that, with all of those clauses, with them having to pay that money, I don't think they will be doing a lot of business in the transfer window.
Well, for Southampton, I think they'll be paying close to £3 million for the four players that were signed. Now, so I don't know what the clauses, because I was trying to do a research to see how we can lay hand on what the clauses are about. So but the question I have is, so for instance, if Liverpool wins the league for the next 3 years, I think this is Mane's second season, right? No, this is Mane's third season.
This is third season, yeah.
Third season. So if Liverpool do this, if Liverpool wins the league next season again, do they still have to, fork out that kind of money? Or is it one-off that once the player wins a title, that's it? Whatever money we pay, you're not coming back. We're not paying you guys anything again. Or is it that it would have to be paid every season when this player wins the Premiership?
Oh no! I think it's gonna be that one-off thing because, like you add, they sometimes had match played clause. So if a player plays up to 50 games for your club, you pay us this. The player cannot play 50 games twice. Paid one. So
okay.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just a one-time payment. But again, we don't know how they set up the clause.
Yes.
It's like using Martial's on again as an example. What if he wins another Ballon d'Or? How many Ballon d'Or did they include in the clause? There are so many things that we have to that has to be revealed to us for us to understand the depth of it. But for the most part, I think it is just going to be that one-time payment.
Or the way I'm saying it, was it that Liverpool didn't see themselves being champions? Or didn't see
what I believe.
While they were making the signings, they didn't believe that, hey, come on, we are never going to win the Premiership. Let's just sign these players. Didn't they see them? Didn't they see themselves turning out to be champions someday and having to fork out this amount of money? It's like you mentioned, it might affect the book because it might affect signing this summer. If you have to pay out this amount of money, like I said, it's up to somebody's. It's up to the amount where you can sign a player. So
think about it. See, wasn't it the first one? Mane. Looking at it now, Mane was signed 4 years ago when they included that clause in it. They didn't win the league 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or they didn't win it last year. And then they signed Lallana. I don't know, I can't remember the order. So you add that, and they probably didn't see themselves winning the league when they signed Lallana, and then they were signing Van Dijk. At the point where they were bringing on Van Dijk, it was to compete, not necessarily to win the league. So at that point, I think they'll be focusing on, okay, if we win the league with this guy, then yeah, we should be able to pay this. Maybe not thinking of factoring in that of
Lallana, yeah.
So, I mean, that's something that could have happened, and they probably didn't see themselves winning the league earlier. They just wanted to compete. But hey, man, I think they get good money for winning the league. Yeah,
they get good money, so they can fork out that amount of money and put it there for pay the clubs. Paying Arsenal will smile to the bank and add money to sign players. And because I even heard that this summer, this window, FFP rules are being relaxed, so that you can sign players. You can see while Juventus, Chelsea, all of a sudden Chelsea are beginning to sign all the players they want to sign so quick and do everything fast so that they can have their team set up for next season, and they go all out. Well, Liverpool, they have the money. They just have to do what they have to do. But once again, we'll congratulate Liverpool for being champions 2019-2020 season. I can understand that feeling because the last time Arsenal felt this way was 2004 when they did the invincible run. That's 16 years ago. The Arsenal fans were trying. Do we have to wait another 30 years to win the EPL title? Oh, damn.
No, you guys are the one. What's his name? Arteta. They'll win something.
I think the good thing for Arsenal. The good thing for Arsenal was they've been winning titles. It's not as if they are not winning titles. Barclays Premier League came into play in 1992, right? 1992-1993 season. Manchester United won. I think they've won 13 or 16 out of ever since it started in 1992. But I think the issue of Liverpool is the last time they won any title in terms of league format was 1990. So for Arsenal, we've been winning title prior before then, until when it was turned to Barclays Premier League in 1992. We didn't win not until Wenger came in 98, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. Ever since then, sum total was 13 titles, and that's it. I think Manchester United have 20, 21. Liverpool has, I think there's a difference between Liverpool and Manchester United. And with Manchester United winning this now, I think they're tied with I think they've usurped Manchester United. I don't really know, I have to check. But so for Liverpool, they've not even won the Barclays Premier League before. And you could see teams like Blackburn Rovers, Leicester City doing it before they did it. So I can understand the feeling. Yes, I can understand the feeling. So congratulations once again, Liverpool. Champione. You guys are champions. We'll wait till next season. So let's just move to the next story. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying it's hard for Manchester United to win trophies now. I would like you to just weigh in on this. I'd like to hear your, as a Manchester United fan, do you think it's trying to, what's the word? Give up already. Not even giving a fight. You having to say it's harder for Manchester United that we all know, the big Manchester United, to win trophies. Because ever since Alex Ferguson left, I think Manchester United have only won 3 trophies, major trophies, as when Mourinho came in. The Europa, the was it FA Cup, and the I think you can help us with that. But do you feel it's been fair enough with what he's saying?
Yeah, I feel like and I may be wrong, but I feel like he's trying to divert the attention away from Manchester United. This is a person who is in the FA Cup semi-finals and also in Europa League quarterfinals with a 5-0 lead away from home. So he's pretty much trying to deflect to make it don't focus on us, focus on other people at this moment. I think that's what he's trying to do, but I may be wrong. Now we know that it hasn't been the same since Fergie, because a lot of attention has been on Manchester United. Who's going to come in? Who's going to replace the great Sir Alex Ferguson? Oh, Mourinho is in. And Mourinho wanted all the media attention, all the attention possible in the world. So now that Mourinho is out, what is he going to do? There's Pogba in the squad that has a lot of media attention on him also. How is he going to do? Is Pogba fit enough to play? Can Pogba can't carry this in? Oh, there's the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Can Bruno Fernandes and Pogba work together? Is Bruno Fernandes' presence causing something for Pogba? Is Pogba going to finally leave? All of those pressures are things that he's having to deal with as the manager of the club. So I think, and I may be wrong, I think he's just trying to deflect. Don't focus on us. Focus on other people. Focus on those that are winning stuff. Focus on the bigger teams, because yes, Manchester United has the reputation of a big club, of a big team. The last 10 years hasn't said so. The last, is it up to 10 years left? No. The last 6-7 years hasn't said that Manchester United is a big club. Yes, we continue to compete here and there, but they haven't really done what they can do. So again, I just feel like he is trying to deflect, to let you don't focus on us, focus on some other people at this point. Because hey, I think I need to look up the remaining teams in the Europa League because they have a very good chance, a very good opportunity to win the Europa League, I believe.
Yeah, so just looking at quoting Ole with what Ole said we've got to be honest. We've got to be honest enough to say it is more difficult now. And he said we've always had challenges, whether it was Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, but most of the time it was just one of them challenging us, so she said. Finishing third wasn't normal. Now there are at least 4, maybe 5 teams that can win the league and the cups. I'm going to counter that, because right now the only two teams that are going to win that trophy, win the Premier League, for instance, that we can see is just Manchester City and Liverpool. I don't know the other three teams that is bringing into the mix. But for the cups, we see the remaining teams now. They are taking the FA Cup serious. We've seen lineups, we've seen the games that went down yesterday and the game that went down today in terms of FA Cup matches. We see that these teams, they are fielding in their first 11. They're taking the cup serious. So if you're saying the cup, yes, I understand, but not the Premiership. And yes, just to buttress on what you said, maybe he's trying to take the pressure off. Maybe he's trying to take the pressure off Manchester United, maybe, so that the pressure won't be on the players. And we just see. We just see the rest of the games that we have for the rest of the season. So there were no Premiership matches, and it's not a full house because I know we all made predictions last week. But it's not a full house. So should we just pass that and move on?
I think we can still look at the predictions. I actually want to see how we did on that one.
Whoa, so for the predictions, I think we got...
What I'm saying is that I am here to offer you with these snakes in the grass, never throw the ball, and with Lucian.
So for Manchester United, we all predicted that they were going to take out. So there's a bit of noise at the background. Yeah, so therefore we look at the predictions we made last week, because talking about EPL, there are no games. I think there's just 2 games that happened this weekend, but those are not the guys that we always predict. And the guys that we do predictions for will be playing this coming week, just to But we made a couple of predictions for the last set of games. So starting, we thought Manchester City Burnley. We all knew Manchester City was going to rout. Going to give Burnley the beating of their life. Tottenham, West Ham United. I predicted West Ham win. I think you guys predicted. Someone predicted Tottenham, West Ham to be a draw.
I wonder who said that.
Andre, do you still not understand that?
Yeah, for the noise you're hearing of the background, so it's Mykah. Mykah has joined us on the podcast. We welcome Mykah to the podcast. He joined late. He had to bring the noise, yes, because we're all doing this from home. We're staying safe. So thank you, Mykah, for bringing up the noise. Yeah, I think it was Mykah that predicted Tottenham West Ham draw, because he wanted Chelsea to usurp or the gap between Tottenham and Chelsea to grow bigger. I think so.
Yeah.
You predicted the Tottenham West Ham draw, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I did.
Yeah. So I think Tunde and Samiat got it right. Yeah. Leicester City, Brighton, and Hove Albion. I wanted Leicester City to win because, and you see, Mopey lost the penalty. Did you see that? What goes round comes round. It was so fun, man, when that happened. I think that ended in a stalemate. We all predicted Leicester City winning. Yes, we all predicted Leicester City.
Liverpool. Are you sure?
Okay.
Well, okay.
I knew it was between Leicester City or Tottenham's match that he predicted a draw, so I can't really place my finger. I didn't.
I think Leicester City draw.
Okay. Yeah, so you got that wrong, but you did Tottenham. Tottenham was going to win.
Okay.
I remember it was between those 2 games. You predicted one was going to end in a draw because you wanted to close the gap. You were being selfish as a Chelsea fan, obviously.
And that was Leicester City. Leicester City.
Yeah, so you got it right. I think I'm the only one off here because I wanted Leicester City to win. Tunde predicted a Leicester City win as well. Yes, so Tunde and Samiat, we're all on the same boat. We lost there. Liverpool, Crystal Palace. We all knew Liverpool were going to. We knew it was a given. I think we all predicted the Liverpool win. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus AFC Bournemouth. Yeah, I predicted the Wolves win. Manchester United.
I said Bournemouth was going to.
Oh, Bournemouth. Okay, you got it wrong there. Manchester United, Sheffield United. I predicted Manchester United was going to win. And of course, Tunde and Samia too predicted.
I think we all predicted Manchester United was going to win.
Yes.
I also did predict Manchester was going to win.
Yeah. So Chelsea, Manchester City. I predicted Manchester City.
I gave it to Manchester City.
Yeah, that was so awful of you. You need to be flogged.
You need to believe in your club more.
You need to be flogged. So Southampton, Arsenal. I said Arsenal was going to win. Samia Tunde said it was going. I think Samia said Arsenal was going to lose. Tunde said it was going to be a draw. Mykah predicted a win for Southampton. Yes. So I think it's all even. It's all Stevens and even. Yeah. It's all good. We all lost it one way or the other. But like I said initially, we will. Looking at next season, we have to make this prediction. Forfeit, man. You have to forfeit something. You have to do the forfeit. Either you buy or something, or you shave your hair, do something, tint your hair, send a picture to all of us to see.
Tint your hair. I just shaved my hair for a long time.
Is it like?
I'm serious, like crazy serious. I just did that some hours ago.
Really?
Wow.
Well, you send the picture. Just share the picture on the group so we all see that. We don't want to show our viewers that, so please
No
don't.
problem.
Yeah, so prior to before you joined us, myself and Tina on the podcast basically what we discussed was Liverpool. So we just want to get your own stuff. Liverpool being champions 2019-2020. What's your thoughts? Are you vexed? Are you pleased? Are you angry?
It's been well deserved. No, vexed. No, vexed. The only people who will be vexed at this time will be Manchester United fans.
Yeah, obviously.
But for me, as a neutral, well, it's actually been well deserved. And if you look at it, Liverpool's record on wins, despite the fact they still have about 7 more matches to go, they are going to beat so many records. So it's actually a very good win for them. They deserve it. Actually, they've been awesome from the beginning of the season. They've lost just one match, one,
and they drew 2.
Wow, no, yeah, they drew 2.
So
it's a very good one.
Do you see Liverpool being a force to reckon with in the next couple of years? Are you seeing them doing a back-to-back?
Yes. Well, for the back-to-back, I would doubt that because I believe things are actually building up. Yes, they already have a core in their team. They know themselves, so they play like they've been playing for years, which actually has been why they are a success this season. I don't know if you get that. So for next season, they will contend for the same EPL. Man City will also do that, and I see. Well, I'm not giving it to Chelsea, but I see that they have the ambition. But for Liverpool, for the next 2-3 years, they will be fighting on the first and second position. That I see them doing if they keep this same guys with them.
Okay, so we also discussed what's his name, Ole Gunnar, saying it's difficult for Manchester United to win a trophy. Do you rate that, or what's your take on that? Saying it's harder for Manchester United to win trophies now. Manchester United, the whole Manchester United.
It's harder for Manchester United. That sounds well. Oh, if it's coming from Ole, then I believe he lacks confidence in himself, or lacks confidence in his own abilities. Why he'll be saying that, I don't know, because we, as viewers, who sees Manchester United in the past 7-8 games, I believe for any manager, he should see the strength in his players. I believe Manchester United are still building a team whereby in the next 1, 2, 3 years they become something else.
Yeah.
Presently,
Well,
I
you
don't know
didn't
why
call
they-
them as one of the teams that you thought would contest for next season. Why is that?
No, I'm not giving them next season. I can give them next 2 seasons. Why I'm saying this is this. This team presently have, if you look at Manchester United, I don't know what their own personal problem is. With the squad they have presently, yes, they need some additions, especially up front. They will need some additions in defense because they have defenders who are always going out injured. The goalkeeper, I don't know, I can't say anything about that for this season. But Manchester United, with what they have presently, they have one of the best midfields in the EPL now. Let's leave aside Liverpool and Man City. Man U has a very wonderful midfield. I don't know if you get that. So if they brought in Fernandes in January, and everybody has seen what that guy has. They can bring in another marquee signing again and put up friends. I don't know if you get, and the whole thing changes.
True though.
You have Maguire. Yeah, we know Maguire is stiff. Eric Bailly is injury prone. This other guy again, what's his name? Marcus Roro. Oh, for God's sake, he has today he's on, tomorrow he's off. Here again, the only consistent player I think they have again is Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right. Luke Shaw can come in today and go off again tomorrow. So if they have defenders who don't tend to sustain these injuries more often, they become a solid team. That's the truth.
Yeah, true.
All they need is just 1-2 changes, and they are good. That's Manchester United. But for next season, I will give it to them.
Yeah, I think today's opinion was just saying probably he's trying to take the pressure off his players and take the eye off Manchester United, because Manchester United, they're in contention they're in the FA Cup semi-final. They'll be playing Chelsea in the semi-final. Oh, what a combination! And Arsenal will be playing Manchester City because Manchester City won Newcastle. So they're still they're still on the verge to win a trophy there. They are 5-0 up in Europa League. You don't know the team that is left.
Wow. So you see what
so they still have 2 more. Yeah, so probably I buy Tunde's opinion, I buy his idea, I buy his own analysis, saying this just to take the pressure off Manchester United, take the eyes off Manchester United, and they could just sneak one and they win the trophy. Who knows? Anything can happen. It's football. But I wish you had joined us earlier. Yeah, I wish you had joined us earlier so we could have nailed this. But definitely, subsequent podcasts will have so many things to discuss, because right now the Premiership is over, so there will be issues here and there we can talk about. Opinions. There's still an opinion of Odion Judigallo we should talk about. Probably we'll do that in our next podcast and see what are the options for Gallo. Should he stay? Should Manchester United give him a new deal? Should Manchester United tell him to go? Because he starts already, speaks a lot. Starting all the games he has started, he has scored. But in Premiership, you don't start him. So should Manchester United give him a permanent deal? Or should they send him away? Or should they do what? Let's see, what's the options for Odion Gallo? Discussions like this, we can have them. Because the EPL is sealed already for this season. We know the champion. So probably reviews for EPL might go down on Footy with Podcast. Or we might just look at discussion topics here and there that we can just use to incite our listeners. So it's been lovely doing this. Thank you, Mykah, for coming on board, even if you came late. We mark latecomers. You're a latecomer, you chop your cane. Thank you, Tunde.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Just taking the Mykah of the year. Thank you, Tunde. So we'll just say our last words. Mykah, for this episode, let's just... Mykah, you can start here.
I'm actually feeling very bad. I joined in late because I had so much to let out.
Yeah.
But all the same, we'll do it again next week.
Definitely.
Do it again next week, and this time I'll keep to time.
Definitely. Today, yeah.
All right, guys.
Well, it's good to discuss again today. Thank you, Hayes, for this platform. Thank you, Mykah, for joining. And we'll be back again next week to finish what we started.
Yeah, so it's good discussing football, Liverpool being crowned champions. Thank you, Tunde. Thank you, Mykah, for joining. I really appreciate you guys because we do what we want to do. We talk football, we analyze football, and I know we'll keep doing this. To the other guys that are not available today, we hope they join us next week on the podcast. Chibuzor, Tamiat, and Udoka. From here, we're wishing everybody have a blessed week. Stay safe. Do the right thing. COVID-19 is real. Stay safe, everybody. Peace out.